Winter's Heart. Now, Winter's Heart is Winter's Heart's kind of special. I like Winter's Heart. Now, Winter's Heart has some pretty cool stuff. Winter is Winter is here. Medium fry is here. So, Winter's Heart is, in my opinion, pretty fun. It's a pretty fun one. Not, spoiler. It ain't perfect. It ain't perfect. Maybe not even amazing, but we finally get our long awaited meetup of our polycule. It's kind of a complicated situation, right? So when we open up, Rand and Min are on the run, and not necessarily, I wouldn't even really call it on the run. It's more of they want Musrim Time to just not know where they are, right? And they're kind of planting some fake seeds of where they could be, just kind of obscure their location, right? So my highlight for this book, Rand goes to Caemlyn and goes to collect Nynaeve. Now, remember what I said a while back? Nynaeve is easily one of the strongest channelers in the fucking world, male or female. Like, she's super fucking strong, and now her block is gone. So gets there, and his whole goal is, I'm gonna go there, I'm just gonna get her out of there, because he's got this crazy plan. He is going to cleanse the male half of the source, which is batshit fucking crazy, just absolutely nuts. And everyone says that. Everyone's like, bro, really? For real? That's fucking crazy. I mean, it's beautiful. That's a great idea, but that's kind of nuts, bro. So most of this book is him setting that up. So he goes into Caemlyn, and his idea is, okay, Min, we're gonna go in, we're gonna get Nynaeve, and we're gonna get the fuck out. That's it. We're not going to talk to Aviendha, and we are not going to talk to Elayne. Now, that is not how it goes. It's much worse. Well, better for the reader, worse for Rand at first. Basically, Min says, yeah, okay, stupid, and then immediately goes to get the girls. So, yeah, that's about how that goes. Elayne, Aviendha, and Min come up with this crazy idea that they are going to three-way bond with Rand, like the warder bond that Aes Sedai do with their warder. Now, part of that bond is that, like I said a long time ago, is that they always know where he's at. Well, they know a direction and kind of a distance, but you know what I mean. They'll always kind of have that little piece of him with them at all times. So they basically fucking corner him and kind of don't give him a choice. And it's really fun. And then, mind you, at this point, he has slept with both Aviendha and Min, but not Elayne. So Elayne kind of does that, hey, so now that we've established that all three of us love you, and we one, all of you, and two, none of us are going anywhere. None of the three of us are going anywhere. We're all committed to you. Which Rand immediately says, okay, well, you're all fucking crazy. You know I'm a man who can channel, right? I'm gonna go crazy and kill all of you. They go, we don't care. We love you. So we're gonna bond you right now. To which he agrees. So here we are, right? Winter's Heart. I love that scene very much because all three of the girls are all so different, right? They're all headstrong in their own way. Some of them, they can all, well, two of them can channel. One of them can, like, see the fucking future. But I don't know, they're just all fucking, one of them's a fucking queen to be. Like, it's just, there's such a diverse cast of these three girls, and it's just really fun. Okay, so there's another scene I wanted to talk about. There is, I mentioned it earlier, that Avienda, who also, like I said, best girl, I love her very much. She's great. So Avienda and Elaine, up to this point, they've been becoming friends very quickly, and now in this book, they're becoming what's called first sisters. And part of the process is, like I said, the Aiel wise women have their own weaves. They know how to channel, very different from the sisters at the tower. So part of this process is there's this ritual where two women, usually spear sisters, usually Farter is my, because for them to both marry the same man, they have to be first sisters. That's just part of their culture. So, part of the it's a very strange scene, and when this scene happened, very much like back in the Great Hunt when they went through the Portal Stone, where I was not expecting this from Robert Jordan, and I'm gonna read it for you guys. It's like a page, and I'm very sorry, but so the context for this is that Avienda and Elaine are taking part in the ceremony, and the wise women are basically casting their spells on them, casting these weaves on them, and they are basically simulating them becoming sisters. Are you ready? Quote from I forget who the fuck said this, probably Amis. "You will be born again. Everything faded. She faded. She ceased to exist." This is from the point of view of Elaine, by the way. Awareness of a sort. She did not think of herself as she did not think at all, but she was aware. Of sound, a liquid swishing all around, muted gurgles and rumbles, and a rhythmic thudding. That, above all, a thud, thud, thud. She did not know contentment, but she was content. The thud. Time. She did not know time, yet ages passed. There was a sound within her, a sound that was her other. Thud, thud. The same sound, the same rhythm as the other, thud, thud. And from another place, nearer, thud, thud, another, thud, thud. The same sound, the same beat as her own, not another. They were the same. They were one. Thud, thud. Forever went by to that pulse. All the time that had ever been. She touched the other that was herself. She could feel the thud. She moved. She and the other that was herself, writhing against each other, limbs entangling, rolling away but always coming back to each other. The thud. There was light sometimes in the darkness, dim beyond seeing, but bright to one who had never known anything but darkness. The thud. She opened her eyes, staring into eyes of the other that was herself, and closed hers again, content. The thud. Change, sudden, shocking to one who had never known any change. Pressure, the thud, the thud. That comforting beat was faster, convulsive. Pressure, again, getting stronger. The thud, the thud, the thud, the thud. Suddenly, the other that was herself was gone. She was alone. She did not know fear, but she was afraid and alone. The thud, the thud. Pressure, greater than anything before, squeezing her, crushing her. If she had known how to scream, if she had known what a scream was, she would have shrieked. And then light, blinding, full of swirling patterns. She had weight. She had never felt weight before. A cutting pain in her middle. Something tickled her foot. Something tickled her back. At first, she did not realize that wailing sound was coming from her. She kicked feebly, waving limbs that did not know how to move. She was lifted, laid on something soft, but firmer than anything she had felt before, except for recollections of the other that was herself, and the other that was gone. The thud, the sound, the same beat. Loneliness reigned, unrecognized. but there was contentment too. So Robert Jordan managed to somehow put me into the perspective of a fucking fetus being grown into a baby in the womb with a twin, and then the trauma of childbirth from the perspective of a fucking baby. And again, this is kind of like that scene in The Great Hunt where I had to fucking pull my truck over and be like, what the fuck? Good God. Holy shit. This is insane. This is insanity. And then it goes on, and basically both Aviendha and Elaine just experience the same thing. So it's not as simple as just being like, oh my God, you're my sister now. It's no. You are my sister. We were born together. I remember being born with you. And that's insane to me. It's fucking crazy. It's such a cool ass fucking scene. Just absolutely fucking nuts. So I really like that scene a lot. I think it is one of those rare scenes. Well, I won't say rare, but it's one of those scenes that are few and far between where Robert Jordan just decides to flex real quick, where he just decides to really show us what he can fucking do. And it was just fucking impressive. It blew me away when I first heard it. Like, I legit just felt the trauma of being a baby that was born. So that scene alone, all the Elaine and Aviendha stuff for like the first half of this book is just fucking fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So that was really good. I had a good time with that. As for Rand, so Rand and Elaine, they bang. She, later in this book, it is confirmed, is preggers. Oopsies. Yikes. So that'll become important later. That will become important later with the downfall of Elaine's character and her arc going kind of backwards, but we'll talk about that later when that happens. So Rand kind of nuts in her and then fucking runs off with Nynaeve and Min. So they're off to go cleanse the source, but they got other shit they have to do. Before they do that, they need to deal with the guys that tried to kill him, which means going to a place called Farmadding. That's the name of this place. All right, I couldn't fucking remember. I know it was Far something. So Farmadding. Farmadding is a city a little south of Kyrian. I know I don't have a map pulled up. I probably should, but the whole gimmick with Farmadding is that they have a ter'angreal in the city. Now, I know I made it all the way to book 9 without explaining to you guys what ter'angreal are, because I just have been lucky enough to not have to do that. The very, 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 very short version is that ter'angreal are just magical artifacts that do a very specific thing. Very specific thing. They do that one thing and that one thing only. And they are leftovers from a time long past, and it's very hard to make them again. Elaine can do that, but it's like a subplot that she goes through. So Farmadding has a ter'angreal that suppresses usage of the one power within the city. Kind of cool. Kind of a cool idea. So they go into the city. And this part, I didn't hate. I kind of just want him to get to cleansing the source. Because it ended up not going anywhere. Where he goes in there, he tries to fucking kill the guy gets away. I'm not gonna say a waste of time, because other shit happened that I'm not gonna get into. But and at this point now, Cadsuane is just kind of with him in his posse, because Min has seen a viewing that Cadsuane has something to teach Rand, and it's gonna save his life if he knows what it is. So pin that, not like literally in chat, but like Just remember that in your head. So, fast forward quite a bit. Actually, first off, we have to rewind. Back in the second book, we encountered something called Cho'odon Call. No, I do not know how to spell that, but it's basically there's two of them. There's one male, one female. And the whole idea is that they are these huge statues that are conduits for the one power. One of them for the men, one of them for the women. And they can be used using what's called a Sa'angreal, which I know. A Sa'angreal is a powerful artifact specifically for the use of channeling the one power. Now, these vary in strength, but a Sa'angreal is typically quite powerful. Kalendor, that cool sword from the third book, that is a Sa'angreal that Rand uses to kill a lot of Shan-Chan in Path of Daggers. So, he gives the female one to Nynaeve, and he has the male one himself. And basically, they have to link together and cleanse the source. Now, when he does this, it causes basically fucking Forsaken versus Aes Sedai Ashaman fucking brawl. Like this crazy fucking brawl outside of that one city, Shadar Logoth, that we talked about. And it's fucking crazy. Like, it's pretty nuts. A lot of magic fighting, a lot of cool shit. Very so for me, right, when it comes to battles in media, I like there to be a very important context. I like there to be grounded. Like, there has to be a centerpiece of the battle. So, for instance, Lord of the Rings, the Battle of Helm's Deep. Okay, well, the wall. Literally the outer wall. Like, we know the map. We know what's going on. We know what's important. In this battle, it's very obvious what needs to happen. Protect Rand and Nynaeve. That's it. So it's very cool. A lot of magic getting thrown around. Lots of people getting, like, burnt to a fucking crisp. Really badass. End of the story. They cleanse Saidin. It's really cool. It's pretty badass. He basically makes like a black hole and it sucks up the fucking city of Shadar Logoth. Really fucking badass. Again, another one of those scenes where I was not expecting that. I thought it was gonna. I honestly didn't even know what to expect when that happened. But it was cool. So now, Matt's back, everybody, and he's got a hurt leg, and he is still a little boy toy for Tylan. I know, poor Matt, poor fella. So didn't expect the cleansing. Really? You didn't think it was gonna work, Tilo? See, I thought it was gonna work, but there was gonna be like unintended consequences. I was very surprised by that. Or I thought it was going to come at a much higher cost. But basically now, Matrim Coffin is the boy toy of Tylan still. We're introduced officially to Tuon. Now, Tuon is what we call the daughter of the Nine Moons. Now, I need to backtrack a little bit. And I am going to paraphrase the absolute shit out of this because it would take way too much to get into. Basically, Matt, back in book 4, he spoke to some mythical creatures through a magic door. The same magic door that Moraine did that thing, you know? Basically, and when he went in, they gave him well, he did it once in the third book where he spoke to the ones in Tyr because there's 2 doors. See what I mean? I have to paraphrase this shit. It's there's a lot to it, but they're the snakes and the foxes, basically. Some of them look like snakes, some of them look like foxes, but they're really just horrible fucking creatures that are really ugly and bleh. Point is, when he went in the first time, they said they basically answered 3 questions, and one of them said that he would marry the daughter of the Nine Moons. Now, to somebody who doesn't know who the fuck the daughter of the Nine Moons is, or that that's the title of a human being, That's a crazy thing to say. So, and in a funny kind of way, whenever Matt has been carousing and, you know, pinching ladies' bottoms for the last couple books, whenever things get serious, he asks this random woman, "Hey, are you the daughter of the Nine Moons, perchance?" You know, just like a weird pickup line or whatever. So, this is the real daughter of the Nine Moons. And she is the daughter of the Empress herself. So she's kind of a big fucking deal. Gonna be the next Empress. So basically, she shows up. She's kind of overseeing how things are going during the invasion, and she sees Matt. She calls him Toy, which is kind of fucking hilarious. Quick version is Matt decides to bust out and fucking take Oliver and run as fast as he fucking can out of the city. Unfortunately, during his escape attempt, he's caught by 2-1. And he has no choice but to just fucking kidnap her. Not fully understanding the context that she is that fucking important. Our ugliest... Yeah, Oliver, ugly little fucker. But, so, he ends up having to seize this fucking guy. Or seize 2-1. Him, Oliver, 2-1, and a couple of Aes Sedai that he freed that were taken captive by the Seanchan. And remember that traveling circus I mentioned from book 5? That really shitty bottleneck? Well, they're back. And that's their ticket out of the city. So, just to quickly sum up, they join the circus, they leave. That's it. And they have 2-1 there as a captive. That's the quick and dirty. If you want more information, you're gonna have to read the books, but it's very fun. It's kind of another weird enemies to lovers situation, but 2-1's a little different. She's, you know, if you thought Elaine had a chip on her shoulder for being royalty, well, she ain't got nothing on 2-1. I mean, 2-1 is conceivably one of the most powerful women in the world at a certain point, because the idea is that when she becomes empress, she's supposed to be in control of both continents, right? So she's got a lot of chips on her shoulder. She's got a big ass brick on her fucking shoulder, bro. So she's pretty arrogant at first, but she is unique. She is interesting. She is kind of a complex character. Her relationship with Matt starts off very adversarial, but she always remains curious. She never tries to escape. She never anything. Now, I didn't mention this earlier, but the Seanchan are very superstitious. They believe in omens, right? If you see a rabbit run across your path at a certain angle, it must mean something, right? So she believes in a lot of weird shit like that. And something, she saw an omen around Matt, which meant he was important. And in a funny, goofy twist, when he was in the process of kidnapping her, he accidentally performed marriage rites towards 2-1. Apparently in the Seanchan world, if you say 3 times within the presence of anyone else, this person is my wife, this person is my wife, this person is my wife, right? So if I said, you know, Suave Space Nord is my wife 3 times, if on the other side of the world, Suave said, Sarge is my husband, Sarge is my husband, Sarge is my husband, then we were married, officially. So Matt, not knowing what he's saying, because he's a fucking idiot, basically accidentally says it 3 times. In like special, he doesn't literally just say, is my wife, is my wife, is my wife, but he does say the fucking things. Fucking, I know, right? He's such a funny character. I love him. So he accidentally performs marriage rites on 2-1, unbeknownst to himself. Now he does find out later, and basically they grow to love each other in a very interesting way. It's weird. It's kind of cute because when they first meet, Matt doesn't really find her attractive. I mean, he's been bagging Tylan, right? She's got the fat boobies, she's got the nice ass. She's something else. And Tuon's very petite. She's when they first meet, she's bald, like literally bald. So it's kind of weird. Sergeant Space Anoid, please emphasize Matt's luck. Oh, right. So I know I mentioned it earlier that Matt has all the knowledge of all of his past lives being a military commander. He's also incredibly lucky, as in, if he rolls a bunch of dice, they all come up with the best possible roll. Like he's just lucky, and I don't know how else to explain that. It kind of at a certain point gets a little annoying. He has this funny little gimmick where whenever something happens, right, whenever there's like a butterfly effect thing, he starts to hear dice tumbling in his head. So there's a lot of those, right, where it's like he says the things and then now he hears the dice tumbling in his head. So okay, so he's not smart enough. Yeah, no. He's definitely not smart enough to stay alive. He would have been killed a long time ago, but he's just that lucky. And that luck has exhibited itself dozens of times throughout the series. So it's kind of funny. He's just really getting into shenanigans constantly. So, short version, they kidnap Tuon and they just start booking it across the country. He's pretty smart, but he's also he's just one of those guys where sometimes he knows what he's talking about. You know what it is? He's smart, but he doesn't take anything seriously because it's all funny to him. It's all a big joke. He really is. Yeah, he's really the trickster archetype. He's got really niche intelligence. You guys are dead on. Yeah, he's fun. He's a fun character. I love Matt very much. I think sometimes his arc suffers, but he is a fun character. So he's on the run. That's pretty much all we get out of him this book, but it takes most of the book for that to happen. Now let's get to Perrin. So Perrin, right? Perrin is just looking for his wife. That's it. He's looking for his wife, who was taken by the Aiel. That's it. That's the whole fucking story with him. So I haven't brought her name up yet. There is a character named Barrelane. Now, Barrelane is basically the hottest woman on the fucking planet. Most men drool just seeing her. She is the ruler of a small, kind of pathetic kingdom down in the south by Tyr. And her whole thing is that she just wants to marry somebody close to the Dragon Reborn to seal her country's fate, to be safe, tied to the dragon. So throughout the series up to this point, she has made constant, incredibly aggressive advances on Perrin. Again, it should have been me. God, it could. God, I wish. But, whatever. There is a scene where it is, like, they didn't do anything, obviously, but it is implied to the rest of his men that they might have done something, which, being from the small conservative town that he's from, his men don't like that. Not one fucking bit. So it kind of sullies his reputation a little bit with him, with his men. But then again, like I said, and then the rest of this book is kind of more of the same. Just trying to find his wife. And then we do get some chapters from the perspective of Faile, who, honestly, I don't know if Avigendha is best girl. I think Faile might be best girl. And I know some people might not agree with that. In fact, I think a lot of people wouldn't agree with that. But maybe I just like mean girls. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe my mom hit me a little too hard when I was a kid, And now I like Fail. I don't know, bro. There's something about her. But she gets humbled pretty quick in this arc. Because the idea is that, well, the Aiel are pretty harsh on prisoners. So she's basically just made a slave. The word is Gaishain. Now, I'm not going to get too much into Aiel culture because it's really crazy and there's a lot to it. But basically, she has to wear these white robes for a year and a day, and then she can go. However, the Shido are honorless dogs, and they don't really believe in that because they're not actually supposed to take anyone Gaishain who isn't an Aiel. So it's kind of a weird dynamic. Basically, the leader of the Shido is kind of a crazy bitch, and she just don't care. She don't care about the rules. So that's kind of all we're getting out of this book, is just kind of continuing where we were for the other characters. Meanwhile, Rand does all the really important shit. Now, I don't hate this book. I actually think this is a pretty strong book for this era. Turn off the wiki. I think it's a really strong book for this era, and I am going to put it at great. Now, it is definitely just above the line between good and great. I'm not saying it's as good as Eye of the World or even New Spring, but there are enough good scenes in this book, and enough of the arcs are fun where, man, I love it. Now, I feel like this one is underrated. It is underrated, for sure. It is for sure underrated. There's a lot of good scenes in this book. Oh, also, again, I forgot to mention the Aes Sedai. They are doing the exact same thing as last book, but now it's snowing. That's it. They're on the march to Tar Valon, and it's snowing. That's it. That's the whole fucking thing. It's yeah. That that's all I got for them.